Ahoy, mateys, and welcome to this week's Sailing and Reading with Miss McNichol. This week, we are going to explore the question, how do people get along? We will be doing that by reading a story together called Soccer Friends. Soccer Friends genre is realistic fiction. You may be wondering, well, what makes it realistic fiction? This story is made up, but as you see when we read the story, this is events that could actually happen. And maybe some of you may have experienced what these characters experience in this story. Also, the story has a beginning, middle, and end. But before we begin reading the story, let's go over the vocabulary. The first word is amused. The kids tell jokes and amused each other. Amuse is to make someone happy. They entertain each other. Take a look at these two young mateys. They're smiling, they're laughing, they're having a good time, they're enjoying each other's company. Amuse, happy. Jokes, happy. I'm just happy watching them be happy. The next word is cooperate. Cooperate is when we work together. Runners must cooperate to win a relay race. You may be wondering, well, what's a relay race? A relay race is when people work together to get to the finish line. For example, in this picture, the one runner is passing a baton to the other runner. The other runner will take the baton and continue running and passing it off to another runner. And they keep doing that until they get to the finish line. Now, this picture not only shows cooperation, it also shows runners practicing social distancing. They're 6 feet apart. Way to go, mateys. The next vocab word is describe. I would describe my cat as small and fluffy. Don't get me wrong, this cat is adorable, but I don't have a cat. So I'm going to describe my dog, Enzo. Enzo is a golden doodle. He has big brown eyes, his fur is wavy, and it's also red. Also, he has big, fuzzy eyebrows. Also, he thinks he's a lap dog. He barks at everyone, everything. And you may be wondering, well, can we see this Enzo? I would love to show you a picture of Enzo. Unfortunately, Enzo is camera shy. Every time I try to take a picture of him, he runs away from me and hides. So sorry, I can just only give you a description of Enzo. Entertained. The funny clown entertained me. Funny. Entertain is to keep someone's interest. In this picture, the clown is entertained by creating balloon flowers and balloon animals. I'm just wondering if he can make balloon anchors or balloon boats. Just thinking. Imagination. Ryan used his imagination to pretend he was in space. He thought about it. He pretended. Let's all take a moment and pretend something. Can you guess what I'm imagining? You got it. I'm on a sailboat. The sky is beautiful. The water is calm. All is good. I'm just smiling thinking about it. I hope whatever you're imagining is making you smile as well. Interact. Interact is like, holla. Mia likes to chat and interact with her friends at lunch. As you can see, she's having a good time. And the other two mateys are enjoying her company as well, too. They're smiling, they're laughing, just having a good time. Positivity radiates from this picture. We can learn from all these young mateys. Patient. The boy was patient and waited for his friend. Patient and waited and patient go hand in hand. As you can see, this young lady is not getting angry, not yelling at anyone, just waiting patiently. And as you can tell, he's even giving us a smile. Keep on smiling, matey. The last vocab word we're going to discuss is peaceful. It was peaceful in the quiet library. Quiet. No one's running around. No one's screaming. It's just a boy and his book. Times are good. Now let's go to the story. Soccer friends. Once again, I want you to focus on how do people get along. I want you to focus particularly on the character Kelly. I want you to see how she started in the beginning of the story and how she changes by the end of the story. Let's set sail. Kelly couldn't wait until soccer season began. She could not be patient because she just loved racing to get to the ball. She would use her imagination to picture the ball, and then she would fly toward it. Kelly practiced at home during the calm, peaceful mornings. Okay, let's think about a couple things here. First of all, do you actually think Kelly flew to the ball? You're right, she didn't fly to the ball. This is an example of an idiom. An idiom is basically a fancy way of saying something. It's a fancy way of saying she went to the ball. Also, I want you to take a moment and think of a time that you were really excited about something and you just couldn't wait. Let's all take a moment and think about it. Can you think what I'm thinking? You got it. I'm thinking about the pool. I get very impatient when it comes to the pool opening. I can't wait. I can't wait to see my friends. I cannot wait to go in the water. I can't wait to hang out with my nieces and nephews. I can't wait to go to the concession stand. I'm just so excited. I'm smiling thinking about it. Can you think of a time you've been excited like Kelly has? Okay, let's see what happens. At the first team practice, Kelly greeted her friends. She liked to chat and interact with them. Ha! Then she saw a new girl. That's Selena. She's a really fast runner, reported Kelly's friend Tara. At first, Kelly held her tongue and said nothing. She was worried. She had always been the fastest runner on a team. And then she said, I can beat her. Okay, let's go back for a moment. Do you really think Kelly held her tongue? Do you really think she went? You're right. She didn't hold her tongue. That is another example of, as you can see, idiom. Idiom is a fancy way of saying she was quiet for a moment. Also, when she says, I can beat her, does she actually mean she's going to beat her? You're right. She's not going to beat the person. This is another example of an idiom. It's a fancy way of saying she's going to do better than her. So let's see what happens. When practice started, Coach Troy had everyone line up for races. Kelly was nervous and had butterflies in her stomach. Do you really think she had butterflies in her stomach? You're right. She didn't have butterflies. This is another example of an idiom. Butterflies in the stomach is when you're nervous about something. It's not that you actually have butterflies in your stomach flying around. It just means you're nervous. So think of a time you may have had butterflies in your stomach. Can you think what I'm thinking when I had butterflies in my stomach? I'll tell you one. The night before the pool opens. Because I'm so excited. But I'm nervous at the same time because I want to have a really good day. Let's get back to the story. On your mark, get set, go, the coach shouted. Kelly ran as fast as she could, but she noticed Selena getting ahead of her. Kelly tried her best, but couldn't match Selena. Later, Kelly watched as Selena entertained some girls by bouncing the ball on her head. The girls laughed, but Kelly was not amused. She was not having it. In other words, she was not happy. Why do you think she was unhappy? Everyone else seemed happy. Why do you think Kelly wasn't happy? Do you think it could have been jealousy? Possibly. Does that mean Kelly's a bad person? Absolutely not. We all get jealous time to time. The key is to keep our jealousy in check. And what I mean by that is we need to make sure we don't hurt ourselves or anyone else when we become jealous. That night, Mom could tell Kelly was upset. Can you describe what's wrong? She asked. A new girl named Selena beat me at the races. It stinks to get beaten, said Kelly. Does it mean it actually smells bad to get beaten? You're right. It doesn't actually mean that. It means it doesn't feel good. This is another example of an idiom. She feels bad. It's not like she's going to a pool. She feels bad. I know that this is disappointing to you, Mom said. It also sounds like good news for your team. Kelly thought about her mom's words. She cared about the team, but she liked being fast. Do you think Kelly is going to follow her mom's advice and look at the positive side? Let's see. At the next practice, the team played a game. Kelly and Selena were on the same team, and Selena was goalie. She quickly blocked a goal. Then Kelly got the ball and thumped it hard toward the net. She scored the winning goal. Way to go, Kelly. After practice, Selena said to Kelly, "You were really great today." "Thanks. So are you. I think our team can be great if we cooperate and work together," said Kelly. "I think you're right about that," said Selena. "I'd love to keep playing," Kelly said. "Want to come over to my house and practice?" What a great story. I think we can all find one of the characters in the story that we can relate to. I know a lot of us could probably relate to Kelly. We've all been jealous at one time or another. Does that make us bad? No, it just makes us human beings. Because we all want to do good. We all want to do well with what we do. But unfortunately, there are times people are better at different things than we are. And that is okay. That's what makes the world so great and interesting. Because we're all different. We can all use our different talents to work together. And that's what we need to do. So this week, when you read a story, I want you to think about your special gifts and how you can use them to help others. Also, I want you to think about how, when you've had problems with others, how you resolved the issue. How did you work it out? Did you take the advice like Kelly's mom said, find the good in it? Did you take a step away for a little bit? You do what works best for you. But at the end of the day, you need to realize we're all different. No one's the same. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. We just need to accept each other for who we are. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you have a great week, safe and enjoyable. And remember, sail on!